Hello everyone, this is Pyroster Watts of Hammer Bros Gaming. Today, we're taking apart an Xbox 360. As you can see, this is the old, I guess fat model for lack of a better word. This is an Elite, if you couldn't tell. So the old models, I guess I should be telling you what you need. So you saw the Torx bits, thermal compound. There's this thing called an X-clamp tool. We'll talk more about that later. And then you have, a very thin, small, flat tip screwdriver. And then one of these. Yeah, X360 opening tool. Those are very important. The shell has a bunch of tabs you need to press in at the same time, so that tool is very important. As always, isopropyl alcohol, at least 70%, 90% recommended. I think I only have 70%, but it works. And then air. Start by removing the hard drive. And then the top and the bottom, those panels come out, and the faceplate. Faceplate first. So these old, like the original model 360s, they were terrible. They had such a high failure rate. I don't know, Microsoft had to do some stuff. And well, eventually they came out with the Elite model, which had higher quality components, and they seemed to last much longer and perform maybe slightly better, but so to remove the top and the bottom panel, you have to poke into the side, the little vents. You'll be able to see where the clips go down in. All you have to do is press them, and they should pop if you're just gently pulling the panel out. It should pop out. Apparently it took me a little longer than I thought. It's been a while. I haven't opened one of these in a bit. So anyways, Microsoft, they had to do something, because the failure rate was something like plus 50%. It was bad. If you ever need to buy a 360, try to buy one of the slim models, these old ones. There were so many quote-unquote tricks that people use to try to fix them, and it's bad. Don't buy a refurbished old model 360, basically. Yeah, you can kind of see the tab through the vent holes. If you press it, it'll just pop out. I've done it with this one before. I even broke off a tab that you could see. So now the 360 opening tool comes into play. You can see all those holes. Basically, a matter of pressing it in, you'll hear them click, and they should, if you're putting a little pressure on both sides of the case, they should kind of split open like that. And then down on this end, there's only two. You got this. Come on. You got this. Alright, here we go. Almost in. On the front there are, it's like 3.5 tabs. There's like one weird half tab on the end, but they're a little difficult to pry open, but they'll do it. That little half tab. All right, half of the case gone. I'm gonna make a little diagram here. You can see the difference in which are the short screws and which are the long screws, at least for this model. Some of the other ones might be different. The screws might look all the same. So it's just a good idea to make the diagram when you take them out. For me, some of the screws had a rounded top, some had a flatter top. The flatter top were the long screws. And you'll see I circle those. Those are what hold the bottom of the case on the bottom shell. And by the magic of editing, any minute now, oh wait, yep, wanted to show you. The ones I circled ended up being the long ones, the ones not circled are the short ones. And now, for my next trick. Oh man, look, they're all gone. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Ready to remove the bottom. Is that the bottom? I don't know. I think it is. Maybe it's the top. Yep. It's the top. Whatever. Oh, you have to take it's the eject button. That's what I was having trouble with. That just pops out. Kind of be gentle with it. In a future video, I'll show you a 360 Slim. This is, I guess all models of the PS3 had separate CPU, GPU, but the Slim model of the 360, it was an integrated chip. So one chip, shared memory and all that, and future console designs have gone to that. So the Xbox One and the PS4 were an integrated processor. You only had one heatsink, one fan that you needed to worry about. Just worked a lot better. The faceplate, the little white thing, has a couple tabs. Just pull off one side, it'll come off. 3 of the small torqued bits, and that should just pop right out. Take out the disk drive. Don't forget the cables. SATA attachment and power cable. Fan shroud will just lift out. And you'll have to lift up that cage that the fans are in. Just a couple little plastic tabs holding it in. Don't forget to unplug the fans as well. Alright. Next up, we're going to take these out. These are what kind of put pressure on the heat sinks. They what holds it down tight to the motherboard and the processors. Right, and the motherboard should slide right out. Alright, and I had previously put some thermal pads on the, at least where I could, on some of the RAM chip. And if you're wondering, that one empty one, the thermal pad stuck to the metal case. I was running out, so it looks kind of janky. Alright, I can't stand that X-clamp tool. If you find a good one, you can use that. I didn't really show you how to do it, but for me, what works best, and definitely be careful. You don't want to scratch the motherboard. You should be able to put it in. It kind of curls under. There's the slot where it on the slot on the post that it clips onto. You have the small flathead screwdriver. You can get in and twist gently, as you can see, twisting. I don't even know how to. I guess basically you're trying to bend that clip just enough to pop it off the post, and that's what works best for me. I actually ended up scratching a motherboard trying to take X clamps off Xbox One. Not that that's what caused it to fail, but always a possibility. Again, more thermal pads and stuff. So the heat sinks come right off. Get your alcohol and whatever, preferably a lint-free cloth. Clean up that thermal paste. You want a very clean surface so that your new paste performs well. That one has some, I don't know if it's scratches or what the deal is, but it's about as clean as it's gonna get. Corrosion maybe? Not corrosion. I don't know, some sort of stain. Really, the stuff that's on there isn't too old, but for the sake of the video, I decided to redo it. Quartz. Just noticing the MX5 is in view the whole time. So Arctic, here you go, ad placement. Cleaned up. Make sure it's dry before you put anything else on. Hit it with some air. Since these are so small, you really don't need a lot. I may have gone a little overboard, but it's not gonna hurt. It's just gonna make it messier for the next time you need to do this. Many theories on how to apply thermal paste. I'm good with the pea-sized dot in the middle, where these are pretty small, so you don't need that much. I don't know if I show how to put the big heatsink on. Nope, I didn't. Just make sure the fans are blowing through the fins. That's all. Make sure the fans are blowing through the fins so that it's carrying heat out of the case. Yeah, these were a little troublesome getting them back on. You want to start with the tall heatsink first. That'll give you a surface to really push on. And the shorter heatsink, you're gonna have to put pressure with your hand underneath and really press to get them to click. Alright, here we go. Carefully slide the motherboard back into the case. When we put these screws back in, as you should always do, you go in a crisscross pattern. That way, it's even pressure, puts even pressure from the heatsink onto the thermal paste. You want an even coating. You don't want one side with more than the other. You don't want it all to squish out. You want a very even application. One downside to these old model 360s, or I guess any 360, at this point hard drives are starting to, they're old. There are ways to put in some slightly newer hard drives, but you're kind of stuck with specific brands. A popular one is the WD Blue Scorpio drive, but they don't make those anymore. And someday those drives will fail. But until that day, treat your 360s nicely. All right, fans, click in, make sure the tabs go underneath that the metal piece. Don't forget to plug the fans in. Fan shroud drops in, followed by the disk drive. Make sure you plug in the SATA cable and that power cable as well. Should settle right in place. This one, I don't know, it needed to click in a little bit more. When you tighten the screws down on the bottom, it'll pull it into place. All right, put on your power button. Oh yeah, might as well go over the snap. If you find this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Oop. Screwdriver slip. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube stuff. Here, any video ever. We stream on Twitch, so check us out at twitch.tv/HammerBrosGaming. We play lots of different games. Lots of Resident Evil and Metal Gear with plenty of other stuff mixed in. Alright, bottom of the case goes down to the top. It's actually the top. Make sure you put your eject button back on. You do that before... well, I guess that's the last thing you do before you screw in this part of the case. Again, we're using our diagram to place all the long screws. Then you'll go around and fill in with all the short ones afterward. Alright. Ooh, don't forget to check out our shorts channel, HBG Shorts. Lots of great gaming moments and funny clips. Good stuff. Alright, this is the bottom. In any case, clip the front in first. You go around to the back. Those should also just kind of push back together. Alright, and that is taking care of your Xbox 360. I will do the slim model in the future, but for now, this is it. Alright, not too bad. This was all in one take. I don't know. We'll see. In any case, have a great day, you wonderful people. We will see you next time. And again, check out our streams on Twitch. Come on. I know you want to see some